In Montreal this summer, something interesting happened on the ice. Demidov and Patrik Laine, two players who never skated together before, were placed on the same line during practice games in Brossard. These weren't big team practices, just small 3-on-3 drills. But what came out of them surprised everyone watching. During these sessions, Demidov and Laine passed the puck quickly, made plays easily, and moved together like they had played for years. Coaches and trainers said the chemistry between them stood out. In every game-like drill, they were placed together, and they kept standing out. A report from Habs Fanatics explained. During the 3-on-3 drills and in the small improvised games in Brossard this summer, they are always together on the same line, and they dominate. It wasn't just one good day. It happened every time they hit the ice. Another report from all Habs said, quick passes, synchronized plays, and fluid communication. Signs of natural chemistry are becoming more and more evident with each session. The coaches didn't say much at first, but people watching started asking if this pair could be part of Montreal's top lines when the new season starts. That question became bigger after Demidov said something for the first time. It wasn't a big speech, but it was enough to let fans know he felt the same spark. The report said Demidov dropped a big hint that Laine could be his new linemate when the season begins. This is happening fast. Demidov just joined the Montreal Canadiens this year. He signed a 3-year entry-level contract on April 8, 2025. Just a few days later, on April 14th, he played his first NHL game against the Chicago Blackhawks. In that game, Demidov scored a goal and had an assist, both in the first period. That made him one of the youngest players in Canadiens history to get 2 points in his NHL debut. It also showed he could be ready for big moments even before his 20th birthday. His good start didn't stop there. Demidov also played in the Stanley Cup playoffs. In Game 4 against the Washington Capitals, he got 2 assists. That made him the youngest Canadiens player ever to get more than 1 point in his first playoff game. Before coming to the NHL, Demidov had an incredible season in Russia's top hockey league, the KHL. He played 65 games with SKA St. Petersburg. In that time, he scored 19 goals and made 30 assists. That added up to 49 points, a record for a player under 20. He was later named Rookie of the Year and picked to play in the KHL All-Star Game. That strong season showed he was ready for the NHL, but no one expected him to build chemistry with Patrik Laine this quickly. Laine, who is older and has more NHL experience, has scored over 30 goals in 4 different seasons. He's known as a pure shooter. But now, his quick connection with Demidov adds a whole new layer to Montreal's offense. Fans and experts are now watching their every move, and they're not the only ones. General Manager Kent Hughes spoke about Demidov's intense training. He said, "We've seen him through the summer. His work ethic is unparalleled. He's been in Montreal, skating, working out, and skating again, twice a day, 5 days a week. I'm trying to get him off the ice." That quote gives a clear picture. Demidov isn't just working hard. He's going all out, every day, to earn his spot. And so far, it's showing. While some teams rest in the summer, Montreal's training center in Brossard stayed busy. Coaches used those weeks to test small line changes. One of the tests was putting Laine and Demidov together. And in nearly every scrimmage, they stuck together and made plays others couldn't. Habs Fanatics reported, "It seems obvious that those two will start next season on the same line." It's not an official statement. But in the NHL, when chemistry shows up this early, it often carries into the season. The question now is where Demidov will play in the lineup. Some reports say he may start as a second-line center. Others say he could move between center and wing, depending on how the team wants to use Laine and other forwards. What's clear is that Montreal is still deciding. The team was described as focused on finding stronger defense and smart forwards to build around Demidov. The idea is to help him grow without putting too much pressure on him too soon. But based on what's happened in July and August, pressure doesn't seem to be a problem. Laine and Demidov already look like a working pair. They pass with speed. They move without speaking. Their shots come from different spots on the ice but land on target. This is what summer drills are meant to do. test new pairs, and build comfort before preseason. But few test pairings grab attention like this one. Demidov isn't just creating excitement in Montreal. His play is also getting international attention. In Russia, he's still seen as one of the best young players to leave the KHL in years. His move to the NHL was watched closely by Russian media, and his strong start in the playoffs only added to his profile. When he played with SKA, he wasn't just putting up points, he was also helping his team win big games. His coach said last year that Demidov was one of the most complete young forwards the team had developed. And now, just a few months into his NHL journey, Demidov is forming a line with a top sniper like Laine. This isn't something Montreal planned last year. Laine only joined the team recently, and the idea of putting him with a 19-year-old rookie wasn't the first thought on anyone's mind. But summer training changed that. When players connect during practice, teams take notice. When that connection leads to goals, they don't ignore it. As September gets closer, fans are asking one thing: will Demidov and Laine stay together in the regular season? The answer isn't confirmed yet, but if their summer performance says anything, the Canadiens might already have their answer. The early numbers, quotes, and game tape say a lot. And now, Demidov has spoken up, breaking silence after weeks of surprise chemistry on the ice. The line he may form with Laine isn't a dream pairing. It's a developing reality, built during quiet drills, with eyes now fully on them as camp opens.
However, Ivan the Demigod Demidov was exactly as advertised. Absolutely incredible. Scores the goal, lights up the Bell Center. In fact, Brian, one thing that's really impressed me so much about Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton is their drafting record. A lot of their prospects are turning into high-end players, but it's Demidov that seems like he could truly be the next superstar for the Habs.
This isn't some overhyped draft story or a maybe one day kind of prediction. This is real. This is coming fast. And by the time the 2025-26 NHL season begins, the league may not know what hit it. Ivan Demidov isn't a loud name yet. He's not a North American media favorite. He didn't storm onto ESPN or show up in flashy commercials. But deep inside locker rooms, on scout reports, and between whispered conversations among GMS, his name is being circled over and over. In April 2025, the Montreal Canadiens quietly made one of the biggest moves of the year. They signed a Russian teenager to a 3-year deal and gave him a taste of NHL ice.
The Montreal Canadiens are proud to select Ivan Demidov.
It's an unbelievable moment, you know. I think from childhood, all players dreaming about it. Yeah, and now dreams come true.
Just one game. That's it. But in that single night, Ivan Demidov made something very clear. This isn't a kid who needs time. This is a young gun ready to take over. He scored, he set up a goal, and he did it with that same cold calm he carried all season long in Russia's toughest league, the KHL. Just a few months earlier, Demidov had shattered the KHL's under-20 scoring record, putting up 49 points against men twice his age. He skated like silk, passed with vision, finished like a killer. Opposing teams tried to shut him down and failed again and again. But let's rewind a bit. Back in the 2024 NHL draft, Montreal had the 5th overall pick. The pressure was high. Fans were demanding a franchise face. Analysts were throwing out safer names. And then, the Canadiens shocked everyone. They picked Demidov, a soft-spoken 18-year-old who had barely touched KHL ice and wasn't coming to the NHL right away. People called it risky. Some even called it a mistake. But Montreal didn't flinch, because they saw what most others couldn't. They saw the way he danced through defenders in tight corners. They saw his ability to make something out of nothing, again and again. They saw how smart he was without the puck, how hard he played in the dirty areas, and how fast he learned. And now, the time is almost here. Demidov is expected to play a full NHL season in 2025-26. No more holding back, no more tests, no more waiting. This isn't just some exciting rookie story. This is a coming storm, a league-altering moment. A kid from Russia, built for pressure, raised in the shadows, now ready to walk into the spotlight and burn everything in his path. And if what we saw in one game was just the beginning, then the league better be ready. Because Ivan Demidov isn't just coming. He's coming to shock the NHL. By the time training camp opens in September 2025, all eyes will be on Ivan Demidov. But he won't walk in like a rookie. He'll walk in like a loaded weapon that just hasn't been fired yet. Inside the Canadiens' locker room, players already talk about him differently. Quiet kid, serious face, doesn't say much, but when he gets on the ice, everything changes. It's like watching a painter with a stick, but instead of a canvas, it's chaos. Tight corners, broken plays, bouncing pucks. Demidov doesn't just survive those moments, he hunts them. What makes him dangerous isn't just talent, it's timing. It's the way he slows the game down when everyone else is speeding up. He sees the play 2 steps before it happens, and when it comes, he's already there. Stick down, eyes up, puck in motion, and the goalie already too late. Coaches call that ice vision. Scouts call it generational. Fans just know it when they see it. And when Montreal let him loose in that one NHL game last spring, they saw it. And so did the opponents. 2 points on debut. And he made it look like it was practice. But here's where the story turns. The Canadiens aren't just hoping he becomes something. They're building around him. This offseason, Montreal's front office moved fast. They brought in veteran support on the wings. They added grit to the blue line. They cleared cap space. All of it points to one thing, making room for Demidov to lead. And leading is what he's wired for. He's not flashy on interviews. He doesn't trash talk. But on the ice, he plays like every shift is a message. It's that quiet killer mindset, the one Crosby had early on, the one McDavid still has, the one that tells you this kid isn't here to play around, he's here to win. And if you're in his way, well, don't be. Analysts are already comparing him to names like Pavel Datsyuk and Artemi Panarin, both Russian, both creative, both nearly impossible to read. But Demidov brings something more modern. He's heavier, more physical, and not afraid to crash the net when it counts. October 2025. That's the start. The first full season. And if preseason goes the way insiders expect, Demidov won't be buried on the third line. He'll be handed the keys. Power play minutes, top 6 time, and every chance to light the lamp. And once the puck drops, there's no turning back. Because once this kid gets a rhythm, once the league feels that first flash of brilliance, the game changes. Just like that, shift by shift, goal by goal. This isn't hype, this is a timeline, a warning, a countdown. If the league sleeps on Ivan Demidov this year, they won't sleep for long, because the first time he dangles through a veteran defenseman, the first time he buries a game winner in overtime, the buzz will become a storm. By midseason, the headlines will be everywhere. Is this the Calder favorite? The next Russian phenom? Montreal's redemption story? And it won't just be headlines. It'll be numbers. Goals stacking up. Assists threading through defenders. Power plays that suddenly start clicking. A team that was struggling to find its identity, finally playing with speed, precision, and confidence. Because they have a young star who sees the game differently. The fans at the Bell Center, they'll feel it first. That electricity in the air when Demidov touches the puck. That hush when he circles the zone, eyes scanning like a predator. That roar when the red light flashes behind the net. It's not just about what he does, it's about how he does it. Fast hands, no wasted movement, ice in his veins. The kind of player who doesn't just play the game, he changes it. And make no mistake, the league will notice. Opposing coaches will start planning around him. Veterans will try to rough him up. The hits will get harder. The pressure will build. But this is where the story sharpens. Because Demidov isn't soft. He's not the kind of prospect who folds under contact. He played a full KHL season against hardened men in Russia. He took hits, he gave them back, and he kept producing. What happens when a kid like that gets NHL-level training, NHL teammates, NHL ice time? Simple. he explodes, and if, or rather when, that happens, this isn't just about Montreal having a breakout rookie. This is about Montreal having their next franchise face, their next great hope, their next banner moment. The city is hungry for a new era, the fans are tired of waiting, and now they finally have a name to believe in. Ivan Demidov, just 19 years old, one season in, and already being whispered in the same breath as the league's elite. Not because of where he's been, but because of where he's headed. Because if this season plays out the way the smart people think it will, Demidov won't just make a splash, he'll send shockwaves, the kind that make GMs rethink their scouting. The kind that put fear in defenders' eyes, and the kind that tell you, this isn't just the next big thing, this is the start of something entirely new.